Cattle mutilations. These mysterious events don't get the attention that they deserve and rightfully have numerous conspiracy theories surrounding them. Cattle mutilations were first reported in the 1970s, and there have been thousands of incidents since then. For decades, this phenomenon has left ranchers, law enforcement, and the public scratching their heads. Nearly every incident of cattle mutilation has the same story. A rancher finds a dead cow, drained of all blood and with multiple body parts removed with surgical precision. These cows typically have their genitals, tongue, and eyes removed. There is no sign of any blood in the area or tracks from humans or animals. The big question, obviously, is who is behind these horrific acts? And why? Let's take a look at some examples. There have been many incidents of cattle mutilation reported all over the world, but the most well-known cases have occurred in the United States. In the 1970s, there were several cases of cattle mutilations reported in the Midwest and Southwest regions of the U.S. One of the most famous cases was the Snippy case in Colorado, where it was actually a horse, and not a cow, that was found dead and mutilated under bizarre circumstances. The horse's body was completely drained of blood, and its head and neck were stripped of flesh, leaving only the bones. Another famous case occurred in Dulce, New Mexico, where cattle were found dead and mutilated under similar circumstances. In these cases, the cattle's eyes, ears, and udders were removed, and the animals were completely drained of blood. The cases were so strange that some people even suggested that the United States government was involved in some kind of secret experimentation. It is worth noting that there is allegedly a secret underground United States government facility in Dulce, New Mexico. It is believed by some that this base is a joint operation between the United States government and extraterrestrials. Could there be a connection here? Other notable cases include the San Luis Valley in Colorado, where multiple incidents of cattle mutilation occurred in the 1970s, and the Ponderosa Ranch case in Kansas in 1975, where multiple cattle were found dead and mutilated. These cases, along with many others, have remained unsolved and have become a source of intrigue and fascination for many people. Unfortunately, this horrific phenomenon is still unsolved and continues to occur to this day. Some more recent incidents include the following. In 2019, several cows were found dead and mutilated in Oregon, USA. The cow's reproductive organs had been removed, and there were no signs of struggle or predator activity. The case remains unsolved. In 2018, 2 cows were found dead and mutilated in France. The animals had been completely drained of blood, and their tongues and eyes had been removed. Some people speculated that the killings were the work of a satanic cult. In 2017, several cows were found dead and mutilated in Argentina. The animals had been skinned and had their eyes, tongues, and sexual organs removed. Some people suggested that the mutilations were the work of extraterrestrial beings. In 2016, a calf was found dead and mutilated in England. The animal had its tongue and internal organs removed, and there were no signs of struggle or predator activity. The case remains unsolved. In 2015, several sheep were found dead and mutilated in Wales. The animals had been skinned, and their hearts and other internal organs had been removed. Some people suggested that the killings were the work of a satanic cult. There are several theories as to what is going on here. The first theory is that these animals are all being killed by local predators. However, this seems highly unlikely. For starters, the removal of body parts is far too surgical. Professional butchers have even said that they would have difficulty making some of the cuts found on these animals. Are we to believe that animals gnawing at a carcass with their teeth were able to do this? Additionally, ranchers are used to seeing animals killed by local predators. They know what these incidents look like. Truthfully, most of us have seen a dead carcass at some point in our lives. It is messy and far from what someone would consider to be surgical. Some of these incidents also include the mutilation of several cattle. Even if we were to entertain the idea that a pack of coyotes or wolves was involved, they would not kill multiple cattle. They would pack hunt one animal, which would be more than enough to feed them. There are many holes in this theory. A second theory is that humans are responsible for this. Some people have speculated that satanic cults are behind these mutilations. This seems unlikely too. Are these cults performing the surgical removal of animal parts in the middle of the night? Are they doing this under the cover of darkness? Many of these ranches are in the middle of nowhere. The idea that a cult has been visiting these places for decades and mutilating cattle without getting caught is very difficult to believe. A third theory is that the government is behind these mutilations. Some people believe that the government may be experimenting with new technology or even collecting fetal bovine serum. However, there are several aspects of this theory that don't add up. Why would the government be conducting cattle mutilations in other countries? Why would they even be conducting them in our own country on our own ranches? Couldn't they just raise their own cattle at a secret military base? Perhaps the government does this on purpose because the theories that it leads to allows them to operate secret weapons programs while the general public thinks that aliens are the ones involved? Arguably, the most popular theory is that extraterrestrials are involved. Logically, this theory may make the most sense. Extraterrestrials using advanced technology would explain the surgical precision cuts and the complete lack of blood found inside or near the animal. It also would explain why these mutilations have never been caught in the act, as you would assume would be the case with an animal or satanic cult. The big question still to be answered is why. Why would extraterrestrials be doing this? And why is it always specific body parts that are removed? It is worth noting that there are a few unconfirmed reports of human mutilation cases as well. These incidents are much more rare than cattle mutilation cases, but occurred in the same manner with missing parts and no blood. As of the making of this video, 6 cattle were recently found mutilated in East Central Texas. Their tongues were completely removed, as well as the hide on one side of the face. Once again, there was no sign of struggle, blood, or footprints. You can see why cattle mutilations truly are one of the more bizarre phenomena. Not only have they gone unsolved for decades, but people, including experts, cannot even offer good speculation as to what is occurring. In our opinion, the involvement of aliens seems to be the most likely explanation, but even that theory runs into dead ends. The theory helps explain why there are no footprints or blood, or why the cuts are so surgical in their precision, but it doesn't explain the motive. Why would aliens be doing this? Is it a form of communication? Is it maybe a show of strength? Are they using the body parts for something? What do you think could be happening here? Please let us know in the comments. We would also love to hear what other conspiracy theories that you would like us to cover. In future videos, we hope to try and connect the dots between different theories that may not seem obviously related, but are more interconnected than initially meets the eye. Finally, don't forget to please hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious.